The whole idea for this show came up, why is Cartman the way he is? And
Right.
This episode to me is the most important Cartman episode because we actually get a look into Cartman's psyche. The episode idea began after Trey Parker frequently watched episodes of The Dog Whisperer.
plenty of times when I'd be watching the show, I'm saying, wow, I bet that would work on Cartman, what he's doing.
In the episode Tsst, Cartman gives a false apology about a heinous act he did, which would make the front page of any newspaper, but for him, it's just another day.
Mrs. Cartman, we have had it with your son's behavior, okay? Little Billy Turner is now being treated at the hospital.
I'm sorry I handcuffed Billy Turner's ankle to the school flagpole.
Cartman's response shows he lacks empathy, thinking it is not a big deal even though his classmate is in hospital. This is the way a child would respond if they forgot to do their homework or something, not from chaining a classmate to a flagpole and giving him a hacksaw.
And then told him I had poisoned his lunch milk and that the only way he could get to the antidote in time would be to saw through his leg.
Cartman is pretty much reenacting Jigsaw. Where most parents would be horrified, Leanne is desensitized to Cartman's actions and calmly responds,
That's very naughty, Eric.
It also showcases a very bad parenting skill from Leanne, letting Cartman watch the movie Saw at 8 years old when the movie is rated 18. It's not unheard of for kids to reenact stuff they have seen in movies or games, and can actually be very damaging if this type of media is shown to a disturbed child, with Leanne putting other students' life at risk by not having proper parental advisory on her son. This announcement from the school was the first time we've seen Leanne properly break down from her son's behavior.
We believe his behavioral problems started home.
I don't know what to do with you.
Due to someone else reaffirming to her that this is not normal behaviour for a student to have, with Cartman pretending to act like Leanne's best friend to not suffer any consequences, as he realises Mr. Mackey is getting through to her about the way he is acting, which in turn makes him present himself sweet and innocent to his mother by singing a song only they know.
My mom is number one in my heart, it's true. My mom's the best mom, better than your mom.
But this is all a ploy to get what he wants.
You know, it's kind of like, why is Cartman the way he is? And it's
Right, you
like, it's
find
that
out.
simple answer of he's got a mom who wants him to be his best friend and won't smack him around if he
Fortunately, the counsellor interjects by asking Leanne if she's ever heard of the show called Nanny 911. After a failed attempt with the nanny, Leanne calls for more drastic measures.
When good dogs go bad, there's one man who's their best friend, Cesar
Who
Millan.
imposes the same discipline on Cartman as he would on a bad dog, something that was far out of the nanny's skill set.
Dogs show their dominance by nipping each other on the neck, but it works equally well in the child. I just use 2 fingers, nip at the child's neck. Doesn't hurt the child, just let him know I am dominant.
Look, Mexican, if you really think that you can... Knock it off!
What trauma does Cartman suffer with? It's hard to pinpoint exactly what personality traits Cartman suffers from without a proper evaluation, and I'm not going to pretend to be a psychologist without a degree. But it's very clear to tell he's one big problem child. Or is his mum the problem? Now hear me out, is Cartman actually a good boy? This episode showcases what makes Cartman the way he is. His mother. By having a strict disciplinarian in the house that won't give in to his advances, he is able to entirely change the way Cartman's brain operates, by having a foolproof step-by-step method to keep Cartman in line. First step is that Cartman is fat and has a lot of pent-up energy.
On and getting the child some exercise. He's fat and he has all this pent-up energy that we need to let him burn off.
So he needs to walk on a leash. Also, did you notice Cesar does not let Cartman say he has big bones?
Energy that we
No one has ever cut off Cartman when he explains why he's not fat, just big boned. Showing authority over Cartman, even by practicing avoidance, by not looking at Cartman when walking through the door. Step 2. Leanne adopts the tsst approach from Cesar when he tried to manipulate her to make Cesar stop,
Don't you love me? Can't you see I'm unhappy right now?
which Cesar gives her credit.
Good, Miss Cartman, very good.
And the final step, the most challenging phase to Cartman,
I've brought over some Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Ooh, Colonel?
Cartman is behaving in the same manner a dog would usually act when they want treats.
Dogs do the same. You want a treat, you want food, you want so dogs just start jumping on people and they have no respect.
Cartman almost tricks his mum by saying please.
May I have some chicken, please?
Oh, very good, sweetie.
Oh no, now he's lying.
Cartman shouts back at Cesar, who does not have it, and puts Cartman into a tsst coma, where Cartman finally gives up. The result.
I want you to go upstairs and brush your teeth. Then I'll be up to read you a story before bed.
Who does she think she is telling me to go brush my teeth?
To which he tries to fight back when away from his mother, but he realizes in the bathroom he is still subconsciously getting ready to brush his teeth.
What's happening to me?
Meaning Caesar's technique is ingrained in his brain. It's not until Cartman finally tries to kill his mum that he has the realization he is at fault, not her.
Wait. Maybe Maybe I don't have the right to kill my mom.
And having a good conscience for once that this change is a positive thing as much as he tries to fight it. With his toxic side coming out as a mutated Cartman to amplify how disturbed Cartman truly is. And Cesar even mentioned this transformation minus the mutation is what actually can happen to dogs who experience his training.
When a dog is going through letting go, it's like an alligator. Or they get a little sick or they lose weight. Or it's a transformation, right? The whole point of rehabilitation is to transform your negative energy into what you're supposed to be with, in this case, positive energy.
Also, if you didn't know, this scene is reenacting the scene from the movie Altered States. Anyway, what we are seeing in the aftermath is the real Cartman if he was raised in a healthy, conventional way, and able to be fiercely independent, all skills you need for this challenging world. Making his own breakfast, doing his homework, and dressing smart. Cartman is a product of how he was raised. His narcissism, his psychopathy, manipulation, all could be argued is from her. His mother's role. This episode, I think, highlights the most that Cartman's mum is essentially very lonely, and it's why she gives in to all of Cartman's wishes and schemes. Most mothers would just flat out refuse, but Leanne is scared of what the repercussions could be if she does not give in to her child. Will she be unloved by the only person she has? A very scary reality for her. This is the Oedipal mother, a mother that gets too close to her children and intermingles herself with them to too great a degree. If you give in to what they want, that means you start to interfere with their development.
And that's very, very bad. That's how you make useless, entitled, narcissistic, privileged, dependent, and terrified children, right? Who also hate their parents.
Hello, sweetie.
Mom, where the hell have you been? I didn't have anything to eat except Nutella. I was about to call child services.
You turn them into old infants. That's an ugly thing. She did everything for you. Well, what's left for you to do? Nothing, including never leaving. They might kill you one night in your sleep.
She doesn't see the errors in her ways, the reason being that if Cartman grows up or becomes independent without her, she has to face the very real reality that she will in fact be all alone.
Look, here's the deal. You don't have to do anything, but you don't get to leave. But if you don't leave and you don't do these difficult things, then I'll take care of you.
But if Leanne had distraction away from Cartman, she would be able to break the curse. Hence why you see in the episode why it is such a blow to her when Cesar reveals she is a client, when she pictured maybe a future with him.
But I thought we were becoming friends.
No, not really. You're just a client. Well, good luck to you. Gotta go.
And the closest thing to a father figure for Cartman just walked straight out the door. Cesar did have a romantic interest in Leanne. Her life would have changed dramatically, as she wouldn't have to face the world alone anymore. Cesar would make sure Cartman isn't reliant on her and can find his own way in the world. At the same time, she is deeply terrified that if Cartman does grow up and become independent, that she is redundant and has no purpose in life. Why Cartman will always revert back. She has got way too close to Cartman as a parent, essentially being a genie to all Cartman's wishes and wants. You want KFC? Sure. You want an Xbox? Okay, you got it. And without the role of a strong father figure, it means the mother is left to her own intuition on how to be loved. The father would take a more disciplinarian approach on how to raise a kid. What Leanne needs to learn is don't do anything for your children that they can do themselves, which the dog whisperer made evident is possible to do with Cartman.
Cartman, there's this moment when Cartman is fixed, basically. He's become a good kid, and all it takes is pulling one brick out of the wall, and the whole thing comes crumbling down in.
With the absolutely brilliant ending of Cartman reverting back to his old self, which is from his mother.
I've got 2 tickets for you and me to see Madame Butterfly this Friday night.
Well, no, my work is done. I've got to get back to Los Angeles.
Cesar turned down the tickets to Madame Butterfly, but Leanne wants to be able to still enjoy the show, as it was probably the most exciting thing that she would be doing in a very, very long time. She turns to Cartman and asks if he would like to go, but Cartman responds,
Told Stan and Kyle we could work on our science project then.
but she taught her on how to keep Cartman in line, just through loneliness and sheer selfishness. As long as Cartman's mother is in the picture, he will never be able to change. This is explained so clearly with just a few words.
Could I perhaps have 2 Mega Rangers?
1 Mega Ranger was already plenty, but by bargaining for a second Mega Ranger, it shows Cartman is in control again, being the dominant one in the household. It seems like Leanne does everything because she cares about her child, but it's all for herself deep down, which eventually destroys the kid.
Yes, darling. You can have whatever you want.
Unfortunately, that's also real. A lot of people don't have the stomach and don't have the discipline, don't have the heart to do what's best for the pack. And so Cartman went right back.
It also shows how manipulative Cartman is and why Cartman targets Butters so much. Not because he's a friend or a loved one, but because he knows how to take advantage of people pleasers and get what he wants. Just like with his mother. And reluctantly, Butters is such a people pleaser that he goes along with whatever Cartman says, as he so desperately seeks for approval and to be liked. But back to Cartman's mum. There is nothing for him to do, it's all handed on a silver platter. Everything Leanne believes she is doing right for Cartman, she just adds more fuel to the fire and why Cartman is unable to change. Hello friends, we hit 10k. Thank you so much. To show my appreciation, I wanted to do a giveaway. All you have